Hey peeps, welcome back to Brick City. It's your boy, the real Charlemagne. Hey, it's been a little while, been about a week, so I'm glad you're back with me today. Be sure to follow me on all platforms, iTunes. What is that? All this I stuff. Y'all be confusing me with this I stuff, but I'm a droid, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's neither here nor there. You can follow me on anything. But Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all those good things. Be sure to check my other podcast out, Over and Out Veteran Podcast. Hey, we got to take care of the vets too. You know, it's specific. Anybody can listen to that, but I want you vets for sure to tune in so we can talk about how to make your life a little bit better. So, without further ado, today I got Mr. Warford. He's out of Charlotte. He's a guy I met a few years ago through family. He's always been a upbeat dude. He's always, stays positive. Always, like I said, encouraging word. I would follow him on Facebook and Instagram. He's always encouraging. He does a lot in his community with kids and what his passion. I'm not gonna give too much of him. You know what I'm saying? Because I could go on and just talk about a whole show about him. But welcome to the show. How you doing?
How you doing, bro? How you doing? How you doing? I'm Marquise Wolford. I'm here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm an actor, model, and trainer here. Thank you for having me on the show today.
Oh, no problem, no problem. So you active model, trainer, and I'm like, man, I said one day you post a pic where I was like, let me rent your six pack for like, just a day, you know what I'm saying? I said I just need a bar just for a day, man, just to go to the beach for a day. But let's talk a bit like about your background. I know you was a star athlete, and you played at a D1 college. So let's talk about a little bit about your past and let's work our way up to where you are now.
Okay. Well, I grew up in Jacksonville, North Carolina. I played sports. That's what we did,
Hmm.
day and night. And I was lucky enough and blessed enough to end up going to East Carolina for a football scholarship. During that time, that was around the Coach Logan time, where
Yeah. Uh-huh.
where that transition where they went to a couple coaches within a couple of years.
Uh,
So that was kind of rough for me. You know what I mean?
right.
So I kind of lost. I definitely lost the love that I had, which drew me to play football.
Hmm.
With the organization, so I was lucky enough to be able to transfer my scholarship over to track and do what I can there.
Okay.
But honestly, growing up, I did exactly what I felt like in Jacksonville, North Carolina, I should be doing, which is sports.
Sports.
Uh,
And just to
I
give people a little
wasn't.
background, you got that's a military town as well.
Oh,
So it's like
exactly.
everything is
Right.
physical, but military is always associated with being physical. So, most of the kids gonna be athletes, so
Exactly. Exactly. I'm not. I'm definitely. It's definitely not a dig at my childhood. I loved it because
yeah,
I think that was really the basis of the hard work and the discipline I have as an adult,
right.
which really which makes you successful as a person. Period. But if I know if I had options to go to like a performing arts school or things like that, I'd have probably took it because
Right.
that was always my passion.
Right.
Some of my earliest memories are sitting in front of the television with my mom and my dad. You know what I mean? I think
Hmm.
that's probably cliche to say because you hear it so often, but
Yeah.
that's the truth, and that's kind of where it started.
Right.
Just really enjoying television of all sorts, and lucky enough, they really never censored it outside of the sex scenes, but
Right.
they just let me watch everything: horror movies, comedies,
Hmm.
everything.
Hmm.
I was able to take a lot of it in, and I think that was a lot of what formed that passion for wanting to act. I just being from Jacksonville, it was just that's something outrageous to think. You know what
Right.
I
Right.
mean?
Right. Right.
Going to college and becoming pro is a lot more feasible to me than
Right.
becoming a major actor.
Got you.
You know what
So,
I mean? So
what was your major? Where was your major? East Carolina. What would you major in?
psychology.
Oh wow.
I have a degree in psychology,
Wow. Okay.
psychology and criminal justice.
Okay. Okay.
So
All
yeah,
right.
I still never even went close to it. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Right.
Nothing in me said you go anywhere near film, television,
Right.
theater, nothing.
But you know how to handle people
Um,
though, because it's psychology of it. So
right,
look,
right,
so you know how
right,
to deal with
exactly.
different different personalities and things of that nature based off of what you learned in college. So that
That's
that
where I
probably
learned.
helped
You
you.
know what I'm saying?
That probably helped you.
Right.
So
That's where you get a lot of that experience on that. And being from Jacksonville, it's still a little bit controlled. Like I said, it's military.
right,
Everybody's kind of similar background. You know what I mean?
right,
You
right.
go to college, it's like What? Like everybody else think like us? Like that was definitely a shock right there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool.
But over the years, I think it took me a while before I even started. Before I was introduced to the theater, and
Okay.
that's why I fell in love with it. And then I ran to the right people,
Right.
during that time, and got moved out to Charlotte
Okay.
to pursue to actually pursue it professionally. So I've been going ever since.
So speaking of which, so the transition from college and then to your acting debut, how was that transition mentally, and just just saying, hey, I'm going to do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take my stab at it instead of just taking the traditional route. You went to college, go get a job, in your field that you don't like typically. How did you
Right,
handle that transition mentally and say, hey,
man.
this is
That
what
was
I want to
rough.
do?
That was
Yeah.
rough. And
Okay.
it took a while. I mean, I guess I can. It's easy to sit here and make it sound like that was like something that happened
Right.
within a couple months or a year, but no, it was. That was, I guess, that's from transition from a young adult to true manhood. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
Where where a lot of things are happening, where you realize that a lot of things that you do have consequences.
Right.
When you realize that what you want to pursue, you need money, and you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying, and where a lot of your friends are making those better decisions to travel and everything else like that, you have literally just chose something that may not happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
I think that it took a while,
Hmm.
but luckily I have an amazing support system that's
Awesome.
honestly is, and as you know,
Yeah.
no one, know, some family and things like that. I have an amazing support system,
Right.
and a lot of that background from Jacksonville.
Hmm.
I have a lot of people telling me they love me. I have a lot of people rooting for me.
Right.
I have a lot of people that believe in me, and even here in Charlotte, without that support system, none of this stuff would be possible. You know what I mean?
Understanding.
Um, so it's not anytime somebody tells you, "Oh, I did it on my own." No, I know you did it. You know, you know you did. There's a
Hey,
lot of your
hey,
own
say
footprint
that one
you
more
got to
time,
do.
please.
You
Say that one
ain't
more
do that
time.
on your own. I promise you, and it
Hey,
not happen.
I,
I
I, that's
promise you.
that's my thing. Hey, I
You
love, I,
may
I
have got
like
it
the
out
people,
the
I
mud,
like
but it
people
wasn't
here
by
say
yourself.
that, but somebody somewhere gave you a break to
Man,
put you into that position where you
countless
are. You
breaks.
didn't do it
That's what
by yourself.
people don't. Countless breaks.
Yeah.
Countless breaks. When with acting, when people give you a role for something that they wrote,
Right.
they're
Right.
trusting a vision within you.
Right.
You
Right.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a break.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's for an Oscar or anything else like that. And that's why so many people don't make it, because they don't respect the craft at what people might consider the bottom line of it.
Right.
That's what I love about independent film, because you are literally working with people with a dream. So 9 times out of 10, you're working with hungry people.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's raw. It's want to,
Right.
and there's nothing like working with people who really want to do what they're doing.
Gotcha. Yeah. So what? So let's back up a little bit. We get ahead a little ahead of ourselves. I look at that passion
Right.
started. Look, that passion started kicking
It
in you.
did.
Hey, look. So, what was your first acting experience in front of an audience, and what was it like once you walked off the stage? Did you feel like, okay, I was a hit, or do you feel like, oh man, I think I might have just bombed? And then you realize, what was the reaction after that first experience in front of an audience, or and like you said, how did you react to that?
So it's interesting. I have to answer that in two parts, honestly.
Okay, all right, cool.
My first time being on stage when I auditioned for Dreamgirls.
Okay,
Now, being a athlete and being competitive, I always go for number one.
right.
I'm not shooting for nothing less than I'm shooting for I'm shooting for the stars with everything.
Hmm.
So I wanted Curtis. I wanted the lead man.
Okay,
It wasn't until after I saw who got it where I realized you ain't deserve it, man. You know
gotcha,
what I'm saying?
gotcha, gotcha,
And so
gotcha.
I ended up getting a really good part, but I was a part of the ensemble, but I really did get a very important part.
Okay,
That made me work harder for the next part, the next show that I was presented with, which was Rent, which was
okay,
I was up for the lead part in that. And
gotcha.
so I knew how to prepare for it. I knew what I needed to do vocally, acting wise, everything. And I
Okay,
got it.
Okay.
So, and I knew that was going to be one of the biggest challenges that I put on myself. I could possibly put on myself, being that so many of the songs and so much of the storyline revolved around my character and his partner.
Gotcha.
So the first time I performed, I was on stage that opening night. It was a hit.
Okay. Okay.
In every way that I could have wanted to be opening night, it was definitely what it was. And I think that's the pressure, the feeling of being on stage and having the audience directly in your hands and,
Right.
hang on your every word, that was everything to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was everything.
Right. Right.
I knew I
And
didn't want to
that's
do anything
in
else.
that special moment going back to basically Craven County to your hometown performing. How did that make you feel? The first time that happened. When you perform rent amongst your peers, your family, and everything. How did that
It
make you
felt
feel?
good because that's who made me.
Yeah.
I think that's what my introduction as an actor, because with acting there are so many things as a human, as a black man, that you have that keeps you have walls up.
Right.
And for as an actor, there are so many things you have to address, so many things you have to be able to portray.
Hmm.
To even portray that stuff, you have to break those walls down.
Right.
Not to mention the guts you have to pursue this.
Right.
Like, although, yeah, I may be proud of having this movie, you're also wide open to every single criticism that somebody wants to give you, whether they know anything about what we do or not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's very much a special thing because that's who made you, and where you always have to appreciate that.
Hmm. Hmm.
You have to appreciate that. That's why I always say you don't do it by yourself. Keep they build you up somewhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even the
Right.
kind words on a bad day,
Yeah.
that's a part of the process.
Right.
That's a part of the, not doing it alone.
Hmm. Hmm. So, what was your first um, scripted acting role in front of the camera, and how was that? How was that transition? Uh-oh.
So it's funny because this is part of the independent process that I love.
Okay.
I moved to Charlotte,
Okay.
and my manager he was a part of a fresh web series, right?
Okay.
It was
Okay.
brand new.
All
And,
right.
and, and everybody involved with we were all amateurs. I'm not gonna lie, as
Gotcha.
far as scripted stuff goes. So
Uh-huh.
they had lost the character, and I was taking over that spot.
Gotcha.
The first scene that I shot with, we were supposed to be drinking.
Uh,
I'm not a drinker,
okay.
right?
Okay.
Why I didn't, have them give me apple juice or something like that. But if you know anything about acting, you do these scenes over and over and over and over again. And not to mention, this is my first time in front of camera, so
Right.
I'm messing
Oh,
up a little bit more than usual.
right.
Man, by the time we finished that scene, I was lit. I was truly gone.
Wow.
And it's funny because I think that's when at that point you start realizing, even in certain atmospheres of independent filmmaking, when you're wanting to take it serious, when you are taking it serious, there's another level of discipline
Hmm.
that you have to apply to yourself.
Right.
Yeah, you may be drinking, but you need to learn how to act. You need to learn what drinking looks like, rather than actually taking this stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a lot of people that want to have a shot with before they do their craft, and you want more control over what you do. Yeah,
Right.
I look at, like, with sports. I wanted to be a natural athlete, somebody
Right.
who earned what their wins off of their ability, and that's the same thing. The same way I want to be as an actor. I don't
Right.
like to be intoxicated anyway.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing that, everything
Hmm.
needs to be organic.
Hmm. 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 So, what was the series called? You remember?
What's your chocolate?
What's your chocolate? Got you.
What's
Okay.
your chocolate?
Got you. Got you. Got you.
And I
So,
love it because once again, like, once it and I laugh. I say that I laugh about it, but I'll tell you, that show meant a lot to me and myself and so many people because of the opportunities and what it proved that we can do as artists. You know
right.
what I mean?
Right.
Writers, actors, directing, everything. We got our feet wet a lot with that show.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. So I know pushing forward. So what's your resume looking like now? How many films you got up under your belt? And if you could look, if
Oh
you can
man.
remember, and what's your resume looking like now?
Well, I've done. quite a few commercials.
Okay.
I do a lot of local commercials over
Okay.
the years, grocery stores, um, department stores, things like that. I
Okay.
do a lot of print modeling for like appliances and things like that. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
okay.
When you
Okay.
go into
Okay.
like a refrigerator and things like that, yeah,
Right.
that's me. You might see my hand or me getting something out the refrigerator.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and done quite a few, and I've done a couple of Stephen King shows where I play like a cop. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Things
Okay.
like
Okay.
that. And also my independent film
Mm,
resume is getting longer.
okay.
Um, Most recently, I have my movie that was just released. It's called Pastor Thorn, Less of the Flesh,
Right.
released on Tubi.
Okay.
Um, I'm getting some good reviews from it. We worked hard on that.
Got you.
And it's a story we're really proud of as well. So,
Got you. I definitely got to check that out, man. I'm not much of a TV person, so
uh-huh.
I gotta be like, I gotta
Yeah, yeah,
watch this.
yeah. I
You
feel
know what I'm
motivated to
saying?
go.
So,
And
so,
that's the
but yeah,
and
so
see
I'm gonna
that's
definitely,
why you appreciate so much of what people are watching it because everybody's not into television
yeah,
like you. You know what I'm saying? I think people take for granted just even people sitting down just sitting through it. And
right.
I can never take it for granted. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Because like
yeah.
people are busy. You know what I mean?
Right. And I'm gonna definitely check it out and promote it. And
I
you said it's on
appreciate it.
Tubi right now?
On Tubi, yes, sir.
Okay,
For
okay. And that's a
free.
free, isn't that free app?
Free app. Yes, it is.
Hey, so it's no, hey, people, it's no excuse. I mean, it's free app. Just go to your app store, download Tubi, and boom, it's
Right,
right
exactly.
there.
And it's dope, seeing your movie pull up next to big names and big faces and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
we
yeah. Cause
appreciate that.
so, any future projects coming up that you working on that you could not give all the details or anything coming up?
Well, I think it's safe to say you'll definitely want to watch this because it's been you'll see it again. You know what I mean?
Okay,
You'll see
okay,
more
okay,
of it.
okay. Understand, understand.
It's not the only one that you'll see of that. And I'm constantly auditioning. And
Okay,
I this is something I don't talk about because for a couple of reasons. When you when you're signed, you have and you get these major auditions and it's
NDAs, yeah,
recurring roles, these
yeah,
big shows that where everybody's on and watching and stuff like
right,
that
yeah.
you get excited, but you don't get overzealous. You know what I'm
Got you.
saying? Because
Mhm.
because at some point you start realizing it's not about how good you are because everybody's good. It's
Right,
but you don't necessarily know what they're looking for. Say if
understand.
I'll throw a show out there, I'll say for that The Walking Dead. I've auditioned for that a couple times.
Hmm.
Um, they'll you may know you killed it,
Right.
but you don't. Now, I may next time I know is when I'm walking The Walking Dead. I'm like, damn, that sounds familiar. And I'm like, oh, that's because I auditioned. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
it's a
right, right.
weird sense, and it's always a weird sense of deja vu
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you're
yeah.
looking at something, to be a commercial, television, anything. It's like,
Uh, you know
damn,
what?
oh,
I never thought about that because, like you said, it's typically the part that's actually in the
right.
series or in the movie. So, dang,
It's weird.
it's
It
weird.
really is weird, man. Like I say, that's like people. I mean, and you don't ever broadcast. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right,
like
right, right.
I audition and it's an honor. And I say, as long as you're still getting them, I think that's a good
Mhm.
thing. And I know one of these days is you're gonna get that one at that where it's gonna be like y'all just gonna wait. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's. I'm always auditioning. I'm always keeping saying prayer for, and that's why I like doing a lot of teaching with my students because it keeps you involved and it keeps you hoping, it keeps
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
alive and it keeps you young.
Oh,
To
students. Oh,
Yeah,
let's talk about that a little bit.
oh
You look
yeah,
at the slips.
inspired.
Look. You was talking about acting. Whatever. You never said coach. You know what's up with that?
Right, I coach acting
Okay.
as a part of a nonprofit organization, Inspired to Fire. It's a nonprofit organization that targets the youth in the community, about 12 to 21.
Okay.
They have acting, dancing, visual arts, singing. And when I tell you some of the most talented coaches that you'll ever be a part of.
Okay.
Everyone is a part of the industry and doing things such as the CEO. He works with Fantasia, Dennis Reed.
Okay.
He does a lot of her music composition and stuff like that, and
Okay.
her vocal training. Where the choreographer, it has definitely been all over the internet doing, and she's an amazing artist too.
Right.
I do a lot of the coaching, and along with a little bit of help doing the writing for the shows, and we put on an annual show. Well, prior to the pandemic, put an
Hmm.
annual show where we get the kids together for a week, teach them a bunch of routines, teach them a new script, and on that last seventh day, we put it all together.
Okay.
And it's very much, it's amazing to see what little young adults and the light the bright future that they really have
Right.
ahead of them if you just really show them what they can do.
Okay.
And it's important because once again, where I grew up, if I'd have had something like that, even
Right.
during the summertime for 1 week to take
Hmm.
me away from basketball, track, or anything else, what I'm saying, I'd have did it. And the path might have been a little bit different for me, like I
Right.
said.
Right.
But that's why it's such an amazing thing to be a part of. But
Right.
and it also keeps you on your toes as far as the craft goes.
Right.
You have to study. You have to, practice what you preach. And as a writer, I have to stay on top of good material because these kids gonna tell you if they don't like what you wrote. They mean.
Yeah. I said, man, I have three grandkids, man, and I'm like, just a conversation with them, they'll humble you real quick because
Uh-huh.
they don't have no filter. Like they,
No.
they're straight up blunt about it. It's no beat around the bush, no trying to fluff it up. They like, I don't like that, or
They
if
tell
something
you.
don't look right to them, then and I'm
Yep.
like,
Have no
ah,
problem. They have no problem telling you that don't look good on you. You thought you was killing it.
yeah, man. So
We would have never
so
said that to nobody older than us.
no, but these kids, they don't have no filter, man. But as far as the nonprofit, go back to that real quick. Is that in Charlotte or is that
It
somewhere?
is.
It's
It
in
is. It
Charlotte.
is in
Okay.
Charlotte. It is in
So it's
Charlotte.
called Inspire. Okay.
Inspire the fire. Yes, sir. Prior to
Got
the
you.
pandemic, we were branching out to other cities, but of course,
Okay.
the pandemic slowed everything down. So,
Got you. Understand that. So I just want to, just put it out there to the guests one time, because this would be, someone that might be interested in, looking you up. You guys on Instagram, social
on
media?
Instagram, yep. And so all you gotta do is look for Inspire the Fire. Ages 12 to 21, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, yeah, so we cover a lot of ages, and look us up. Look if you see anything going on, you want to bring your kids out. Like I said, it's an amazing time. It's an
Okay.
amazing time.
Cool. 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 So now we're talking about those young adults. Let's talk about yourself and talk about those young adults. So with these young adults that's out there and you know kind of on the fence of going into this career, what would you suggest that they do? Like you said, things would have looked a little bit different if you had certain things in place. What are some of the things that they should take advantage of at these early young ages so they could be better in their craft as they continue to mature? What do you recommend?
One thing I'll say is do not stifle out creativity because so much, I mean, and a lot of times kids tell you what they're interested
Hmm.
in. A lot of times you can kind of see. Let them try a lot of stuff out. Do a little bit of research and see what's being offered in the area. If you may have a child that doesn't seem to be too interested in anything,
Hmm.
you know, see if they're interested. Look online, see if they have any art classes going on, acting classes, things like that. Um, Vocal classes. See if they want to play the piano, and like I said, this is across the board.
Hmm.
Because like I said, guys like me, literally, just because of my stature, everything, the group I grew up with, we were just playing sports, just because that's what it was to do.
Hmm.
You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So I say a lot of, and not only that, try to make sure they have guidance counselors that really care. Like
Mm.
when I got to college, all they wanted me to do was get me a schedule that was around practice. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Nobody asked what I was interested in really at all.
Wow.
You know what I
Wow.
mean? And and like I said, those conversations aren't really had. Um, and as a parent, make sure you keep those lines of communication open about
Hmm.
their dreams.
Got you.
And people think, and of course, as a child, it changes 5 million times. Support it
Right.
every single time. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
Because one of the things that really keeps me going is literally the fact of my mom and dad telling me there's nothing that I can't do.
Right.
And not only that, even at this age of 38 and pursuing this, even if they don't agree with the role or anything like that, they still realize he has something and that we
Right.
can't stifle that. There's nothing that you can't do.
Right.
Support it every single time they change because one of them times is going to be it. You know
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying?
Hey, I
One of them
totally
times you're
agree.
gonna be
I,
it.
I I totally agree. I had one of mine. Joker played baseball till he was in the played baseball to knee high to all the way to the ninth grade. Like that, I'm done. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
didn't play football, but it panned out. He got a free, he got a scholarship. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And it panned out for him. But it was like, dude, that
There's
equipment.
nothing like there's nothing worse than doing something you don't want to do. Ain't
Yeah,
nothing worse than doing something you don't want to do.
exactly. Like you said, you get burnt out from it, man.
Yes, quick.
Like you just mentioned, it's so many different aspects and different things that go into the production. You know what I'm saying? Because you got writers, you have, like you said, coaches, you have lighting crew, you have all these different things that go into a production that
Yes.
you may be good at one of those umpteen thousand things that goes into
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. There's a million one things like in this, like as far as putting on a show,
Yeah,
and it's so much to do. It's so many different ways of making money. And you can be a lighting guy, but also a producer on the show.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Just because you know you're that good at knowing how to light something, like it's not far fetched. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like so much is at our fingertips,
right.
and
And I had a
sometimes
guy
it's
he
just an
does
introduction.
wardrobe. I had a guy on the show before. He does like help people dress, like for shows and stuff like that. And I was like, wow,
He's a wardrobe
because
stylist.
right, wardrobe stylist, and he was a stylist, so like people going to like big events, he would help them style their outfits for the events. And he was telling me how much we got paid. I was like, I
Oh, it's
might
some
need to
money
look.
involved in that. It's some money in it. It's big money
People
in
pay
that.
to look good. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's money in that. That's
Hey,
expensive. That's definitely
yeah.
expensive.
Wow. But yeah, man, look, I'm not gonna take up too much of your time. Look, I know you're a busy guy, but I want you to give, a little insight about, you know, people out there that's just struggling, trying to figure things out in life and trying to go with the flow of things because fear of what other people may think. You know what I mean? Because like you said, you were the athlete, you were the the the, the star athlete, and then now it's like you're in acting, then it's like where's the athlete? You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be,
Right,
you
right.
get that criticism. You should be in the NFL. You should have been da da da. How tell give a little insight how do you combat that, and give encouraging words to someone that's battling that fence of going against the grain.
Oh man, now for me, once again, you have to. I grew into it. And I like I said, I don't want to make it seem like and that's something that you come into overnight. But for anybody out there questioning going against the grain, I'll say that it's better on that side and doing what makes you happy.
Mhm.
Um, than or at least trying to be a part of what makes you happy. I say because I even now I like being in Charlotte, I know a lot of creative, amazingly talented, creative people in
Mhm.
and I hear a joke a lot that corporate America is where creatives go to die. And it's like
Mm.
because literally you're part of a rat race and yeah, you're making some great money. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm jealous.
Mhm.
They can go on vacation whenever they want to, but at the same time, on a daily basis, like I hate this place. I hate my job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas they see me they look at my Instagram stories and I'm laughing, joking, dancing around at the gym or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And envious of that. So I can understand, but try to know what you love and try to be a part of. The sooner you can figure out what your passion is and try to make that as much of your everyday life as possible,
Mhm.
you'll start realizing how you can monetize that. And
Mhm.
I'm even getting used to this whole social media thing where even if you think you have an interesting personality or interesting perspective, everybody they got an interesting perspective nowadays. But there are outlets for this. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Um, expose yourself to different things. See what's out there. You know what I'm saying? Try. If you just sit back and just talk about it, what you want, it's never going to happen. But you have to put a step towards it. You want to be a writer, but you don't know what to do with it. You ain't gonna know what to do with something that you ain't wrote yet. So write. You know what I'm saying? Write it
Mhm.
and then let God open the door of where to send it then. But you have to take things step by step.
Right.
For any actors out there, get you some headshots. Start learning some monologues. You know what I'm saying? Look for agencies in your area to submitting and things like that. See what's in your area that you can be a part of, or people that you know might be doing independent work and independent work on Instagram. You got to do a little bit of footwork, but you know what I'm saying, you have to look and you
Mhm.
have to try. There are a lot of people who need folks to tell their stories. I'm going to be the first to tell you, you're going to do a lot of free work,
Mhm. Mhm.
but some of the biggest actors have had to still do a lot of their biggest roles for next to nothing. You know what I'm saying? And if that's what you're following your passion for, necessarily money to start off with, you're wrong. Yeah, let it be a motivation, but
Yeah.
it's not coming first because you're going to quit well before that if that's your main motivation. Do
Mhm.
it to be happy and fulfilled, and then you'll figure it out from there. You know what I mean? Your gifts will find a way for you. Is what the Lord said.
Right. Right. Gotcha, man. I
It'll make
appreciate
room
that.
for you. Excuse me.
Make room for you. Yeah. Yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
make room for you.
Yeah. And man, I appreciate that word because, like I said, a lot of people, you're chasing someone else's dream.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's a lot of people, chasing other people's dream, and then a lot of, me as a parent, sometimes we get caught up in our dreams within our youth, but things we missed out on. You know what I
hmm,
mean? So we try to coerce them to go this route
yeah.
because we feel like that's the best route that we should have took. But in
Right.
all actuality, they got to make
Different
their own
situation.
decision. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like I said, I learned early in life. It was six of them in the household, man. That's six different personalities
Yes.
that you're dealing with, and you have to navigate them all differently. And that's what I tell a lot of parents. I said, your response, you could yell at this one, but this one you got to take for a ride and talk
Right.
to him. This one over here, you could throw something at him. He's good, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But this
Right.
one over here, you gotta sit them down and talk to them. And so it's like, a lot of people, it's not a one size fit all. And society wants to couple us up and and
Exactly.
and say we supposed to navigate all the same and move the same. You know what I'm saying? I said, but that's what make being a human unique. Everybody's different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And stop trying to couple everybody in this box that, hey, you supposed to think and act a certain way. And
Exactly.
it's not it.
It's not it. It's so not it.
It's not it,
And
man. I'm
who
like,
really wants that anyway? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
who
this would
really
be a
wants
drab
that?
nation. You know what I'm saying? We'll
Yeah.
be, we'll be, and I like I said, I'm not a fan of these new rappers, but I tell a lot of people, I say, it's not the art anymore. I kind of hate that, but it's more of a business for these guys. And these guys, they become they don't have the whole lot of talent, to some people. And that's just my opinion. But
Me too.
they understand the business of it.
Yes, without doubt. They came
Because
in a great
because
time.
most, what I'm saying, a lot of our older rappers, they're catching up to these young guys. They got to play
Trying
catch
to.
up to the young ones because
Yeah.
the pocket wise, they're like I said, back in the day, it was art. Everybody like, oh, keeping it da 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 da. But now these guys, they coming out, they putting out these records, and then they own the copyrights, they own everything. It's look how many
Bruh.
how many our rappers, back then, like I think De La Soul way back when 90 something years old, just now getting the rights to their first album.
Just now.
Just now.
Just now. Yep.
And I'm
It's
like,
different now. Like these,
it's different.
and of course they think that they're more successful because of the money. I'm like, no.
Right,
Like
right.
y'all came in at a perfect time in music where like y'all can make money by
Marketing
yourself. Like,
yourself, yeah. You ain't got to
you
do
know
out
what
of
I'm
the truck of your
saying?
car no more. All you got
But
to do
and that's one of the reasons
SoundCloud.
I love Jay-Z so much
Yeah,
because Jay-Z is one of the older heads that's literally like,
transition.
like you like there's nothing you can say to that. You know what
No,
I'm saying? Like, there's nothing you can say to that. And I appreciate that because like for him, you can't say it's about the money. He got that. He got
got
y'all
that.
beat. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He has that conquered and he has the business portion of it conquered. So I 100% agree.
Yeah,
Music is definitely different, and talent isn't what's
what it
being
used to be. Yeah.
praised anymore.
But this is just a transition of the mentality of things. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, on the flip side of that, it's some good artists that are internet famous. You know what I mean? They don't
Yes,
have that. They don't have the major deal yet, but their music and their vocal
it's
skills are like,
fire.
oh my god.
It's
Like
fire.
when is somebody going? But then some people they're like, I don't even want a country. I'm making X amount of dollars on views. You
And
know what
that's
I
it.
mean?
I think we also have to stop. And what the benefit of the internet thing is, like, this success can be measured differently,
Exactly.
and it can be monetized. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the views have, they're able to, get paid off their views now, which is something different. Back in the day, if you it was all about radio play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. 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 Right.
it was all about radio play and album sales. Now streaming
Streaming.
is a major thing. You know what I'm saying? So the internet's definitely changed a lot of it, but these the major artists that we listen to are the ones getting the praise that
Yeah.
we have to go find their new stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not just being broadcasted. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And like I said, they don't have the airplay. Look, I don't know if you remember, it was an old rapper back in the day, Diamond D.
Yeah.
And Diamond D got a new album out, and I was like, I ain't heard this dude since I was like in the eighth grade. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know, like I said, that song, I remember the phrase. It was like Diamond D got props like a cop, and then I was like,
Right.
that phrase always stuck with me throughout the year. And then I was like, oh, somebody was talking about Diamond D. I was like, Diamond D, you got to come back. And couldn't find out he got family in Eastern North Carolina. I think his
Oh
mom
man.
is somebody lives like in Greenville in the area or whatever. And I was like,
Okay.
wow. I was like, that's
Yeah,
small,
that's dope.
small world,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, it's crazy, different things, and I'm glad you sticking to your craft and continue to stick with it and not, like you said, not let the some of the obstacles deter you from pursuing your goal. You know what I'm saying?
And there will be many.
Yeah.
There will be many. There will be
Yeah.
days like, what the hell am I doing? I'll be perfectly honest with you. And honestly, there going to be a lot more than you want to ever admit. Like
Right.
I say, I'm so glad that I like that so many shows are offering like the behind the scenes
Hmm.
and these behind the story. And actors, especially my favorite actors, are being honest about their process, because a lot of times you need to tell somebody, yo, it may be 15 years before anybody gives a dang about what you doing. You still want to do this? You know what I'm saying? But you really need all 15 years, because you have, like, even come now in, like, because when you get in front of a camera and you have to put that emotion on at that time, there are people like, and like, we appreciate Angela Bassett, who can literally drop the tear on a word. It's like,
Right. 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 Right.
we've been watching her our whole life. It's people that good out there, and you may need all 15 years to do, to learn that. You know what I'm saying?
But
And
look,
to be relevant. You know what
but
I
look
mean?
at some of the
So
other ones. Look at like Samuel. And then
exactly.
you look at some old movies. Like I'm a old, like when I do like watch TV, I like watching older movies. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? I like watching some of the older movies. And then I was flipping through something the other day, and it was like, I forgot what the movie was. Like Return of Superfly, some crap. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Some
right.
exploitation movie back in the day. And Samuel Jackson, I'm like, this is like 1979. I'm like,
Yep. In the beginning.
nobody ever heard about this guy. You know what I'm saying? That he was there. He was like, he had his little part, but it's like a lot of times, like you said, you get putting in work for so
Uh-huh.
long, and then you're like, boom,
Yep.
here I am.
Like
But
Viola Davis. Don't nobody remember. That's the
yeah,
mama from Antoine Fisher. Like, that's
yeah.
a long time ago. People
Long
don't
time.
realize it.
I don't even know that. You know what I'm saying? I watched that like one
Right.
time. Some movies
It's such a,
some
when you
movies
think
I'm
about it,
one and
and
done,
now we're
man. I
just
can't
now
watch them
seeing
again.
her in these major parts and stuff, and
Yeah,
she's, really getting a recognition. So
yeah,
I mean, you have to love it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because the work itself, and when you are in the midst of it and you're able to do it, that's really what the payoff is. And it's
Mhm.
like, that's how you do everything you can to get back to that, do everything within reason to get back in front of the camera or back on stage. You know what I mean? Um, definitely don't get desperate to where you're doing anything, but
Yeah.
work hard. You know what I'm saying? Keep yourself in the loop
Mhm.
and have the guts to go after it, man. Like
Right, right, right.
that's it. You have the guts.
That's cool, man. Like I said, we share the same birthday, man. So look, Scorpio season around the corner. So look,
Yes, it is.
we about to
Yes, it
turn up
is.
and everything, man. But like I said, you continue your craft, man, and be safe out there. And we definitely gonna link up, man, and make. Oh, tell people how to follow you. Like, look, we forgot about that part. Look,
Oh,
tell people how
for
to
real.
follow you, how to link. Look, that's the most important thing today, man.
Exactly.
Look,
Exactly.
we got to talk, and let before we get out of here, tell people how to link up with you. So they want you to, like I said, hey, he ain't working for free no more. I'm telling y'all right now. So
Thank
hey,
God.
he gonna cost you a little something, but hey, if you want him to do something for you, tell him how to reach you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, once again, you can find me on Facebook at Marquise Wolford. Instagram is m.q.d. And once you start pulling that up, it's gonna pop up. You'll see me. And those are the two that I'm really on all the time. Uh, hit me up. Feel free. I have movies on Tubi. Check me out if you have any questions. I love to give out information. Also, take a look at Inspire to Fire. That's a youth organization. If you have a child that sings, acts, dance, draws, anything, anything arts related, or if they just want to try something out and don't know what they're interested in, just want to be around another group of kids, doing something fun. Take a look at Inspire to Fire on Instagram as well. That's where you can find me. Check out Pastor Thorne on TV right
Pastor
now.
Thorne.
Pastor Thorne, Less of the Flesh. Y'all hit me up and let me know what
Hey,
you think.
yeah, I like that the flyer for you guys, man. That's pretty dope. I was like, uh-oh, there's like some drama right there.
It was. I was excited, man. It's funny because I've had that flyer for like 5 months.
Wow, wow.
And then
Yeah,
I had to wait to post it, and then I had to wait
wow.
another month time before the movie come out. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the movie actually came out 2 weeks early, so I was excited about that. So it's been
Okay,
a lot
okay.
of good traffic.
Yeah, yeah, great, 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 man. But like I said, man, I appreciate you, bro. Come and take your time out with us. And like I said, everybody feel free to follow him. And also while you follow him, follow me. Follow me on Brick City Show, The Real Charlemagne, Charlemagne. You pull up Charlemagne McCarter or The Real Charlemagne, you'll see me. You'll see this happy face.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I
All
appreciate
right,
you, bro.
man. Look, until next time, people. Hey, peace.